Well, new emergency action by the DEA aiming to crack down on synthetic 7-0, commonly called gas station heroin. It's happening in this state as well. But as Spotlight on America's Jeff Harris explains, drug manufacturers are always looking for workarounds, and keeping illicit synthetic drugs off shelves is complicated.
Today, the FDA is announcing that we are initiating action to recommend scheduling of 7-OH as a controlled substance by the DEA.
In July 2025, then FDA Commissioner Marty Makary announced confidently that public health officials were being aggressive and proactive to stop 7-OH from being the next wave of the opioid epidemic, declaring the synthetic concentrated byproduct of kratom that's sold online and in gas stations and vape shops to be 13 times more potent than morphine. The Drug Enforcement Administration pledged to get right to work.
Now that we have it, we'll review it expeditiously, thoroughly, and in accordance with the law.
Nearly 1 year later, on July 1st, 2026, the DEA issued 2 notices of intent for temporary placement of synthetic 7-OH and 3 derivatives into Schedule I of the Controlled Substances Act, meaning the drugs have no currently accepted medical use and high potential for abuse.
Nothing like that should be available at a gas station.
A recovering addict who asked to remain anonymous told Spotlight on America that he became dependent on 7-OH, spending $200 a day for nearly 2 years, chasing the high that gives an opiate effect.
It was harder to get off of than shooting IV heroin.
Really?
Much harder.
Now we have prevalence of xylazine, nitazines, as well as synthetic 7-OH.
The House Subcommittee on Health is examining ways to restrict access to illicit substances, including 7-OH. Earlier this year, witnesses testified to the challenges law enforcement and public health officials face.
We are confronting a dynamic, adaptive, and increasingly synthetic threat environment that is outpacing traditional detection and response systems.
Scott Olton served decades in the DEA before retiring in January as chief of forensics. He warns that without class-wide scheduling, a ban covering an entire group of chemically similar drugs, manufacturers will keep playing whack-a-mole. As soon as one substance is banned, drug makers can alter the chemistry to create a new version that evades sanctions.
The second they get it controlled, then the bad guys, they just simply add a fluorine here or fluorine there, and then turns it into a new compound.
The Federal Analog Act aims to help the DEA and Justice Department combat designer drugs by proving in court that they're substantially similar to a Schedule I or II controlled substance, but it can be a lengthy process in a time of emergency.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and there's always an adversarial nature to it.
As does the scheduling process itself.
They call it emergency scheduling, and it takes years in some cases because of the process. They got to go through public comment periods, they got to go through HHS, and there's so many steps. And I really wish DEA had kind of more authority. If they really truly could emergency schedule it, like, okay, tomorrow it's scheduled.
For Spotlight on America, I'm Jeff Harris.